Good morning. This is the time I usually set aside to, either start that next chapter or edit what I've already done. But it's just an appeal to Star Wars fans and the seven followers. It's tough as a fanfic writer, amateur writer, to get your material out there. Now there's platforms for it and whatnot, but it's hard to get beyond the diehard um, fanfic readers to really get your work out there. I think a lot of you, I have a lot of respect for you YouTubers that come up with content, and have that out there and available on a daily basis. It is really a pain in the butt to put a video together. You see some of my other concept videos. I don't know how you guys do it, but I guess I get those questions about how can you fire off a chapter a day, with a full time job and commitments to the household and maintaining a marriage. But this is my appeal uh, to everybody else out there that you can do it if you stick your mind. It's crazy. You type out a 500,000 words, and sometimes English is like you lose it. At any rate, I think we've all been there. But at any rate, I want to get back to the editing for book 3 on Ahsoka Balance of Truth. That there's so many projects that go beyond that I want to dive into, but I can't realistically dive into that until there's a base for this one. Does that make sense? At any rate, I'm going to keep trying to make the time for it because the story is important to me. And I think any Ahsoka fan would agree. There's certain questions that we wanted answered. I know that I have. And they just weren't coming, from canon sources or, movies, TV shows. Although I was nervous, I should say, when they did announce the Ahsoka show, that it would start to cross over into the work I was already doing. And I'm just happy that that wasn't the case. Now they got a season 2, and I can kind of look forward to flashbacks, maybe, where there'd be some crossover. But fortunately, nothing that I wrote would go against the grain on what they've already done there. So the story does stand alone, and it is canon centric. I did a lot of work uh, on the story itself to make sure that it fit in the natural timelines. I did borrow some things from Legends just simply because they're really cool, and there's no alternative explanations in the current canon, if that makes sense. It's hard to describe that without giving things away. I wanted you guys to read it, but we'll get there, I suppose. Um, the work that I've done is heavily based on some of my favorite Star Wars authors, well, authors in general, but James Luceno, of course, Alexander Freed, Timothy Zahn, Drew Karpyshyn. I wonder if he even gets his name wrong. But at any rate, um, inspired heavily on those writers. And then the content that I've been trying to come up with was also another issue. So like these people that put these videos together, they always seem to have something they go back, fall onto. And the reason I never bothered with YouTube so much is like I didn't think I had the content until I realized I just got done with a 500,000 words of content. So here we are. Um, I am going to work on narrating at least the first book. It is my voice. I tried doing it in AI, and it just sounds like, no, it's not good. I don't know how much better my voice is, but at least it's consistent. And that was the issue I was having with AI. I'm sure there's alternatives for it. And just to retrace with the video content that you guys can come up with. Like, I've messed around a little bit with the AI, as you can see in those concept videos, but I don't have the time necessarily to push through and learn how to do that expertly. And I don't know that I want to. I'd rather get back into the writing, which in itself takes a lot of time. You know, this is a 4-year project now, and the editing is taking months. And I want to get back into it. But I also wanted to thank the YouTubers that I do follow on a daily basis. There's been a lot of inspiration from 3 particular ones. I mean, I think everybody knows Theory. But I also follow Meg and then Fanatic, and all 3 of them give very distinct differences of opinion on 3 completely different topics. Hoping that makes sense. Theory is amazing for his lore, and I used him quite a bit when it comes to fact checking things or being able to tie in part of the story to bits of distant lore in canon, or even legends for that matter, because I think what we're seeing now with Lucasfilm, is the lines between canon and legends, extended universe, whatever you want to call it, are being blurred a little bit more. So I think that gives us a lot more creative freedom. We'll see how that goes. But at any rate, his lore videos are second to none, and they're an indispensable source. When you're writing. StarWarsMeg, she's been indispensable with the news updates, keeping everybody in the know as far as what's coming. Fair reviews on things that have been made public, or shows in general. And she's not afraid of adding her opinion, and that's helped out tremendously too. I mean, just the news, it always helps knowing what's coming. And then StarWarsFanatic, we are of the same generation, and it's great to see and hear a person that's not opposed to speaking on different levels of perspective. And I think he does that better than anybody else out there. I will have their channels in the description. Just because they've been indispensable for me, they might be for others too. As you say, back to it. I will keep working on those narrations for book 1 at least. We'll see how long that goes, because that is the shortest of the 3 books. And if I'm totally out of voice by the end of that one, who knows? But yeah, we'll see where it goes. At any rate, thank you so much for the support so far, and we'll keep this rolling. Thank you.